Chris Aceto reporting from York, Pennsylvania, the Weightlifting Hall of Fame.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. And we're back for another installment of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, joined by the technician all the way in York, PA, Chris Aceto. Oh, I made you a little too small there. So you were you snuck off to a bodybuilding show and you didn't even tell me about it.
Yeah, because my son decided he was going to go. He died at 12 days. And
so now, what he needs to do the show to qualify for the Ben Weider Cup? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So, and I didn't know that. So, and he didn't know that. And I asked someone to ask people at the NPC office. I said, does he have the? I don't really even have the time, literally, to come to qualify. And that's I know when people say I'm busy, but honestly, you have people. If people saw people on a daily basis, it is beyond insanity, and I like it that way because it keeps somehow focused, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So Free told me, I got to do something, and there would like a show like in far away, another one real far away. The closest one was like 12 days away in York, and I said, you're gonna have to just like
suck it up.
And you're in decent shape, you're not fat, and so he crashed out. And I of course I look at flights. Holy smokes, the flights, the last minute I booked it on Wednesday were a fortune. So
I actually thought you drove, Chris, to be honest with you.
I can't drive, Dave. I'd fall asleep after like 2 hours.
You could have had him drive.
One accident when we were down in Georgia, like I was like falling asleep at the wheel, and I.
So you flew into York, or you flew into Lancaster?
It's hard to get here. Yeah, I had to fly all the way to Charlotte. So I get in and there was delays. I got in like last night at 11 o'clock.
Holy mackerel!
And then so Free picked me up. He drove from Vermont, which was like.
He drove. Okay, I got you.
He picked me up at the airport, and I forgot the tanning stuff. So we had to go to like Target and get sheets at the last minute.
Why didn't you just let him get spray tanned for the show? Oh my God! You think you're Bob Gruskin. That's why you probably were cooking him chicken breast with sweet and low in it.
Yeah. And anyway, so the show was really the highlight of the weekend was for me or a highlight is they have like this weightlifting Hall of Fame at York Barbell.
Right.
And Dave, I kid about it with you for 20 years. And I'm somebody who I don't like art, but I like the whole idea of going to an art gallery and coffee, and I like the architecture in the gallery, and I like the people who come. And I said, I want to do one of those in an art gallery, but I don't like art. And so I thought, way back, Bodybuilding Hall of Fame. And in my mind, I would have like something from the Pumping Iron movie, maybe the T-shirt that they hid from Lou Ferrigno, and the low cable.
My cats, yeah.
and something from Conan the Barbarian, and something Joe memorabilia stuff. And they got to some degree, they have that here at the Weightlifting Hall of Fame. Yeah. And they, it's really. I thought of John Hansen. I saw Gary Udit, and I said, Gary, I said, you know what, JM, Jim, Tyler, come along with, I don't know who. Dan Solomon would be a go-to person who has the energy to do it. But someone
I told you, Chris, I'm going to do it. I already told you I'm going to do the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame.
The building, it's not the right location, you know what I mean, for the building, but the building's a nice building.
Right.
And they have like an auditorium in it for like weightlifting and bodybuilding events.
Wow.
That's where they had it. And it was just...
That's great.
Nice to read the history, the weightlifting history of...
Who owns that, Chris? Do you know who owns the...
What's that?
Who owns the Hall of Fame there? Is that...
I don't know.
Private owner?
I don't know, but there's a strong, Bob Hoffman who started...
Influence.
Influence there, and it's just a neat idea, and
that's been there for a long time, Chris. Those are probably very old exhibits there.
Yeah, they are.
I'm glad that it's so well maintained still.
Yeah, I said you're taking a big risk by having pro-tan dieting bodybuilders around this night.
Oh, the actual show is in the actual place?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, and you get to read about the history. They have a really well documented American Olympic weightlifting team, which leader couldn't get bodybuilding in the Olympics because of like steroids, and you got like
weightlifting in there.
Weightlifting, and then Carl juiced to smithereens. In retrospect, beating Ben Johnson. Talked about that 2 weeks ago.
Right. Well, the what I think is missing from the Hall of Fame that I see here, but this is just for strongman. See, I would have plaques like they do for the baseball players in the Baseball Hall of Fame or the football. Every person who's inducted should have a plaque. This is kind of more of like a historical perspective on the sport of it's really not a Hall of Fame. It's because you don't have. Is there actually inductees here, or is it just kind of like the history of the sport?
Right, it's more historical. But the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame, fantastic. I don't know if you've been to. I've been to the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield. Which
really?
Maybe when my kids, maybe 10 years ago, and we went thinking like, well, we're in Springfield, we're going out to explore Springfield.
Right.
If we went down to like Six Flags and let's go to the Hall of Fame, and we thought, just to spend some time, and we liked that. Right. The kids weren't even into basketball; they liked it more than Six Flags. It was very interesting.
Wow. So where is that? Where is the Basketball Hall of Fame?
Springfield, Mass.
I didn't even know that. I feel ignorant, but I didn't know that.
I'd
love to bring my son there. He'd love it. He's into basketball big time now.
On Springfield College campus where I went.
Oh, it was on the actual campus of the school? That's where it is?
I went there. Tito Raymond went there, and Jeff King went there.
I know you went to that school. I didn't know that's where the Hall of Fame was, on the campus. That's crazy. Yeah. Interesting. Well, we're still too young, but another 5 years, we'll do the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame, Chris.
I got cheating on exams because I got straight. I guess I didn't look that smart.
Who said that to you?
They accused me of cheating on a health exam. I got accused because I aced it.
What? Are you serious? I thought you were kidding, Chris.
I got accused of cheating 3 times in my career.
Wow.
A health
you
exam.
must have been appalled. I know you. You know.
Oh gosh, EKG assessment.
Why did they think you cheated though?
Because I got like perfect scores when everyone else like bombed out.
Right, but you were a good student though.
Yeah, I was a good student. I wasn't smart. I was a good student. I knew how to. You know what Dave? I knew how to study. I knew how to study for tests.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was going to be on it. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, you must have been smart if you did that well. So, let me ask you this question. So Fareed did this show. He qualified now for this the Ben Weider Cup, which I think is kind of it's kind of the whole Ben Weider the natural thing is very funny because Ben Weider was always trying to get everything into the Olympics. Is this the prelude to them trying to apply to the Olympics? Look, we have a separate division with the Ben Weider natural division. But these guys can qualify to go to the Olympics. You remember how they used to team universities to go to the universe? Now we're going to send these guys to the Olympics. Is that where this is going?
Just going down. It's opening another door.
I mean, it could potentially work. I don't know. So your son qualified now for this on November 15th and 16th.
Yeah.
My guy Kendall Mason on his own is going to be doing the qualifier on October 27th. Here in Boca. There's a Boca qualifier for this show. And so hopefully maybe you and I will get to hang out November 15th to the 16th together. So we'll see what happens. All right. But yep. Congratulations to Fareed. Is he with you in the hotel room there? Or he went back?
He drove back immediately.
Wow. That's a dedicated young man right there.
Well, his significant other came with him.
Yes. Oh, his girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah, and she moved up 2 notches on my evaluation.
Oh, really? Wow, that's impressive. Why is that?
As Milos would say, she checked another box today.
How did she check the box? What'd she do?
She didn't go to prejudge, and I said, well, Free does back. I said, where's Amber? And he's like, she's in the car. I said, doing what? He said, studying.
Wow. That's impressive.
Going to come to the night show. I was like, because when I left him at UVM, when I brought him to UVM, I was kidding. I said that on the show. I said, Freed, I don't really even care what grades you get. Just stay on your diet. You don't have to get A's. Really.
You're the only parent who told the kid that at the whole school. Now, the funny thing is that the question is, did the girlfriend sit in the car and do her homework because she had no interest in the bodybuilding, or did she do it because she
has an interest, but she just her mother didn't tell her when she dropped her off.
skip the study.
when we went to school, I was like, you got your hot pot, you got your fridge, you got your biscuits, you got the rice cakes, you got chicken, you got the whole.
You're only worried about the show. Yeah, you don't even care. Books? Did you leave the books at home? Don't worry about it. You don't need the books.
You know what's terrible? You know how I get sucked in, Dave? I swear, he came back to the hotel room. You got to be a lot better than this in November.
Well, you would get 12 days to prepare for this, Chris. Come on.
Well, I mean, but he still looked good. But the flip side is
don't give him a nervous breakdown over the way he looked.
Yeah, I said, "Can I have a cheat meal?" I said, "No." I said, "Yes, you can."
I was going to say that would have been very cruel and inhumane. So I found this new. I got to show you this. Hold on, let me zoom in here.
What is it?
love these. I love Power Crunch bars. I always eat these Power. Now, the company that makes Power Crunch bars makes these new. They look like Pringles, but they're protein potato chips, basically.
Oh, someone was telling me about those.
Now, Quest has them too, but these are way better. These Power Crunch protein crisps are delicious. I'm addicted to them. The only problem is if you eat too many of them, because they're made from pea protein, you can get a little gassy from them. I have noticed that, but the delicious. The whole can is 22 grams of protein.
When you're married for over 10 years, the crunch
doesn't matter, right?
Will start to upset you. The crunching too loud when you're.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, crunch. Was that in a video? Wasn't that a video?
Women who are married more than 10 years start to correct their husbands that they chew too loud.
And with their mouth open too.
They breathe too loud sometimes too.
Greg Kovacs used to breathe pretty loud. I got to tell you, when I used to be around him, I thought I breathed loud. I thought I was breathing loud because I was 300 pounds. He sounded like he was gonna, he was going to have respiratory arrest. You know, he was so loud. But Nasser too. Remember, Nasser couldn't even get 5 words out without.
Yeah. Did he? Yeah.
Nasser did do a lot of breathing, but yeah, ever since I lost 100 pounds, it doesn't happen anymore.
I don't know who used the line first. Nasser or Trump, when being interviewed, he said, "I'm not answering stupid questions."
I think it was actually Nasser who said it first.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Nasser was doing an interview once with, I don't know,
so
big TV station.
Say again?
People who don't know what we're talking about, Nasser El-Somebody was being interviewed for I think it was like a big LA TV station show, and the girl was asking him questions, and he said, "These are stupid questions."
Yeah, we played that. I'd play it again if I could find it. But yeah, it was one of the funniest interviews. It was total Nasser.
Well, he was dying. You know what? Can't you? You know, no matter how.
He was like, I will make a statement instead. How about I make a statement because these questions is too stupid. He's like, yes, I will make a statement. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, yes, I will make a statement. I will eat my food 6 times a day, high protein, moderate carbs, low fat. I do my cardio 2 hours a day on fasting in the morning and on the completion of my workout. And sometimes I will eat a little pasta if I am too flat. And I will take the water out before the show so that I could be my best on stage. Thank you very much. I will leave now.
Yeah,
that was it. That's all he wrote. That's all she wrote. All right, hold on. Let me see. I want to bring my thing up here. What is this? Blah, blah, blah. All right, so I went to. Here's my. Oh, I got to reboot this. Hold on. So I went to Muscle Asylum Gym in Port Charlotte today for their 1-year anniversary. Pull that up.
Port Charlotte.
It's a great gym.
Stuart?
So Mel, Port Charlotte is north of me, and Mel lives right there. Mel Chansey lives right up there too. He's in Northport, so it's like Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, and Northport. They're all like, and then Sarasota's after that. So these guys built this. This guy John built this insane gym, hardcore gym, and they have a posing room like the old Venice Gold's posing room, and as you can see, Antoine Valiant was there. Mel Chansey was there. John's the owner with the green hair, and Frank McGrath is there. Frank and I had a great talk. He's a hardcore dude. I really like Frank McGrath a lot. And there's some other good guys. This guy Tommy, is one of the owners of the gym all the way on the left. He's a big freak. He's got some insane legs. This kid's going to be a pro one day, guaranteed. I'll show you his. That's his profile if you want to follow him. Tommy Bell, and big dude. Oh, there's Guy Sistanino with him. And coming back here. So, and then there's me and Frank, and we had a good time. It was a great little thing. Tomorrow, actually, I don't. You know where Siesta Key is in
yes,
Sarasota?
Yeah.
So we're supposed to. I guess the owner John has this big house there in Siesta Key they rent, and so there's supposed to be a big little beach party there with all the bodybuilders tomorrow. And I'm debating whether I want to get my lazy ass and drive there. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. I'll see what I feel like in the morning, but it's supposed to be. I'm so lazy in my old age, Chris. I don't want to do anything.
Don't bother me.
I want to just rest.
Don't bother me.
I want to rest. That's all I want to do, and we'll see. It'll probably be a really good time. And you know what? If anything, I would go there just to hang out with Mel because Mel is very fun when he's drinking and he loves to go in the water and lay on the beach, and I'll hear Mel stories all day long. We're going to see Mel obviously at the Olympia. He's already set. He's going to be there on Wednesday. He's actually he's flying out of Tampa. I found there's this crazy airline. Have you heard of this airline, Breeze Airline?
Yeah, flies to Portland.
They fly on Wednesday and Saturday to Vegas direct from Fort Myers. So I was able to get a direct flight to Las Vegas on the Wednesday before the show. On the way back, however, because I'm not going to leave on Saturday, which is the day of the show. So I got to take a connecting flight on the way back. But so Mel will be there, obviously, and the whole crew.
Florida, like Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, they have weird flight schedules. I don't know where they come up with these crazy flight schedules. Anyway, I talked to Dan Sullivan also this week, and the show has been sold out. It's 5,000 seats in this arena. They're all great viewing seats. And Dan sold the show out so fast they couldn't believe it. So they didn't know what to do because obviously people want to go to the show. So there's a very cool club in the Resorts Hotel there, and they're going to be doing a watch party. So like for people who can't get tickets to the show, you go to the club there, and they're going to have big screens with the show on there, and it'll be a lot of fun. So even if you can't make it into the show itself, you can go. Let me pull that up so I could. I think it's a great idea, actually. And I haven't been to Vegas, for a while, so
yeah.
I don't know what they did the last time, but I hear the expo is really going to be good this year, the way they're setting it up and everything like that. Have you?
Is he going to come on your show to like?
Yeah, we'll get Dan on there probably next week or the week after. Hold on. And they're filming a documentary because it's the 60th year anniversary.
Who's filming it?
I think Generation Iron is doing it. Hold on, let's pull this up. That's the Olympia documentary. As its 60-year celebration approaches, the fitness industry's pinnacle event is now the focus of a major documentary film project set for the worldwide release early next year. Joe Weider's Olympia Fitness and Performance Weekend has long been the holy grail. Blah blah blah. Vlad Yudin of Generation Iron will be we'll be filming this. So they do a great job. Those guys are really good at documentaries. That's their thing. So I'm sure hopefully the competitors will participate, because you know how these guys get, Chris, when they get close to a show, no one wants to talk. Everyone's grumpy. No one wants to but you know what the truth is, and I'm giving advice to the competitors out there, because I did this when I was up kind of. You have to suck it up and do these documentaries and do the photo shoots and do the video shoots, because you know what? In 10 years from now, when you're not competing, you're going to say, man, I should have done that. It could have been documented. It could have been in the history of the bodybuilding annals. Never turn down an opportunity to be a part of history. This is 60-year anniversary. I know you're tired. I know you're hungry, but you know what? If Vlad's going to fly in and interview you, you got to participate in these things, and you got to do what they want you to do, because it's going to be, look at what Arnold did. You think Arnold wanted to be filmed while he was getting ready for the Olympia and whatever it was, 76?
Yeah.
No, he did it because he knew it was going to give, it's going to launch his career. So these things are important for you guys to do. And you know what? If you're at the pinnacle of your sport, it's important that this shit gets documented. I mean, otherwise there's nothing, in 10, 20 years from now, no one will even know who you are. So you should be happy that they're doing something like this, because usually no one cares, and nothing gets documented. Back in the day, Weider, they filmed all those Olympias. Remember, they always had backstage stuff, and it was always very well done, because Joe would sell the videos afterwards, if you remember. So anyway, that's the Olympia documentary. This is the Dan being interviewed. We'll get him on our show, though. Sid's calling me, but obviously we're doing the show, so we're not going to talk about it. All right, so when do you get into the Olympia? You're going to get in Monday? Is that the...
I'm getting in like crazy early. I'm getting in on the 3rd.
Oh, you are? Oh, yeah, that's really early, Chris. What are you getting in so early for?
Well, I'm because Andrew asked, he said he's going on the 3rd. So he said, can you go on the 3rd? And I said, let me see it. He said, no, he basically said, just come in. I said, okay, I'll come in. So I told you I'm bringing my oldest son, and we're going to go see a couple shows, whatever, because they'll be way before, and only Andrew will be there. I think Ramone will be there. Ramone will be there. So the two A-listers will be there early, and then I ship out my oldest son, and then then Freed comes in. to see the show. But
so
I'll be out.
Your oldest son has no, he doesn't care about watching the show. Is that the idea?
He may want to see the bikini.
To see the bikini. Oh, you're funny, man. All right. Everyone's asking me, Ramone. What's going on with Ramone?
Well, you can post it. You know what's so funny? Last year, people wanted to beat up my son for taking a picture with Ramone, and he sent it to his friend in college, and the kid posted on the internet. And I didn't know that Ramone was like hiding under clothes and not having shown one picture. Now Ramone posts pictures all the time. So he posted a video from yesterday.
Is that it?
Nope, that's old. He posted a really good video. Although he looks really good there too.
This one? No, that's not it.
Nope, it's the most recent.
I'm looking at the most recent.
Go to
this one.
This might be it right here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's recent.
It looks good. Question is, can he beat Chris Bumstead? Bumstead's looking pretty damn good. You think he can? Okay.
Look at that back.
Yeah, he looks the most polished I've seen him. What is his weight here? How much overweight is he in this?
A lot.
Is that a problem though? I mean, because of him making weight? He looks like he can do the open here. He's so big.
Yeah, look at the shoulders.
Yeah, he's freaky, man. He's got a great physique.
Look at the quads.
Yeah.
It cross-threaded up the yin yang.
Now, why do you think Ramone is all of a sudden doing sneak peeks? You think he wants to make Bumstead think about?
No, because he wants to win, and he's
No, I know that, but I'm saying, why is he doing that? Like in the past, he never showed off.
I don't know. People come into they come in to get more comfortable with who they are and what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, and people, all these people are posting. Look at the pecs.
Yeah, he's looking freaky, man.
Go back to look at that back again, dude. That back is like phenomenal.
Let's see if he turns around it.
Well, yeah, the old video of the back, but that's still a good video.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I saw it. I wanted to put it up. And how many weeks out was this?
4.
This says 1 week ago.
This back was a week ago. He's better now for sure. And this is not the best lighting, but that's a good back. What did he hit at?
So is he still at the Dragon's Lair? Is that where he's doing all his training?
No, he's training in Vegas. He's not at the Dragon's Lair.
Well, that's in Vegas.
Yeah, but he's training at other gyms. He's training a little bit everywhere.
Oh, he's moving around. He's not staying at one place.
Posing room he's using at the Dragon's Lair.
I get you. Yeah, he looks good. What do you think about the Ramy announcement that he's not doing the Olympia? And he did that whole long, like 10-minute thing of explaining, why he's not doing it, and he couldn't get a visa, and the judges told to wait till he can come back at his best, and all this stuff. What do you think? Give me the translation. You usually can read Ramy pretty well.
That he was told, you got to be at your best to win, and if I can read between the lines, that means he's still got back
weaknesses. Yeah. Well, my suggestion was, I don't know if you saw my video we put up, but I suggested, why is this guy worried about doing the irregular? Why doesn't he do the Masters Olympia next year in Tokyo, Japan? He's 40 now. He can do it. I think if he really enjoys competing,
For the same reason Michael Jackson didn't want to do like Vegas shows.
I understand that, but Ramy's not Ronnie Coleman. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was the most invincible Olympia champ of all time. He enjoys competing. He likes to win. He can still win. I mean, Vince Taylor did it. Dexter Jackson did it. There's no shame in doing the Masters Olympia when you're over 40. I mean, he's older than everyone else now. There's all the guys are very young in the sport. There are no older guys anymore. He is like one of the oldest guys. Him and what's his name? Brandon Curry. You know, I'd love to see him on that Olympia stage again. You know,
Yeah.
Maybe he can get Kai to come out of retirement and compete against him.
Well, that'd be a good showdown for the Masters Olympia.
Yeah, or even Brandon Curry versus him. I mean, they've battled on stage before. I'd love to see those two guys go at it. You know, no pressure this way. You know, because when you get to be over 40, and Chris, you could attest to this. No one has perfect skin. No one has perfect muscle bellies. Everyone has some injuries. So it's not like you're competing against 24-year-old guys that are beautiful tight skin, no injuries, no lumps and bumps on their body. You're competing against other guys that are a little beaten up. So it's almost acceptable in a sense. So if his back is not quite exactly what it was when he was winning the New York Pro, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So I just think that if Ramy really loves competing, he can open up a whole new fan base for himself over there in Tokyo.
Well, what was surprising about the
we'll see what happens.
What was surprising about the announcement was that he didn't announce that he was going to do it.
I'll show you. Well, I don't think anyone thought he was doing it, but I guess he made the official announcement that he wasn't doing the Olympia. Because remember, he's qualified for life because he won the Olympia before. Sid actually had the where did he put that? The Ramy thing. Oh, yeah, he had the Ramy thing translated, but pretty much here are the key points. If you didn't watch my video. He's still recovering from whatever injuries he's got. We don't really know what those are. He had visa issues for Europe. He makes it clear that he's not competing. He had nothing to do with his stance on the Palestine-Israeli conflict. I never even heard that theory ever. So he listened to the advice given to him from important voices in the industry, obviously the judges. And he urges his fans to be respectful, work hard, etc. So, Ramy's just a good guy. It was a feel-good speech he gave, and I guess he wanted to respond to people. I'm sure people are constantly asking him, "Are you going to do the Olympia? Are you going to do the Olympia? Are you going to do the?" It's pretty obvious he wasn't doing the Olympia, but I guess he wanted to make an official statement, so he did. And like I said, I truly believe the right place for Ramy at this point is to go to the Masters Olympia next year. I think it would be a lot of excitement. It would certainly make that show a hell of a lot more exciting, wouldn't it? I mean, right now it's like, well, who's doing it? Yeah, it's great that they're holding it. I love that they're bidding these shows out to other countries, but who's going to make that show exciting? We know Kai Green will never do it, right? And Heath is not going to do it unless there's serious money, being put out there. Ramy doesn't need the money. Ramy just loves competing. This is a perfect venue for him to showcase his physique and not have to be worried about people critiquing him too hardly. And he can certainly win that title. It's an Olympia title. He would be added to the list of previous Masters Olympia champions: Robbie Robinson, Youngblood, Vince Taylor, Dexter Jackson. Who else won it? Who am I forgetting? Oh, Kamal won it. That's right. Kamal won it. Kamal Garni. So it's a great list. I mean, if Big Ramy gets on that list, then he can say he won an Open Olympia, or any one of Masters Olympia. The only other person who did that was Dexter Jackson. So, yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what Ramy does. All right, let me see what else is on my list here that I want to talk about. All right. Oh, news. Let me just pull up that little news bit. Not that anyone cares on our site, but I really love Ariel Kadar. Ariel Kadar had to pull out of the Olympia. She has got neck issues. I know she was really, really looking forward to doing this. So if she's pulling out, then she must have a serious injury. As you know, I have known Ariel since she's 15 years old and she first got involved. She was an elite level gymnast before that. And so unfortunately, she's not going to be doing the Olympia. So sorry to hear that. Let's see what else. So check my list here of stuff. Oh, so I showed Ramone. A lot of people have also asked about Wesley Vissers. I wanted your opinion on Wesley Vissers. How do you think that this guy is going to do on that stage? Obviously, he won the Arnold Classic this year. And, some people would say he's next. Now he's the second, the first guy or the first runner-up should be challenging Bumstead. I don't believe that. I think him and Dino are pretty much, even Steven on that. What does Vissers need to do to win the Classic Physique Olympia title away from Bumstead?
Bring up his only flaw is the size of his glutes and hamstrings, like on his back double. If you post up a back double, that's the.
See if I can get a picture of that.
Not the
that
back.
doesn't show his glutes. Yeah.
I mean, you can do it from the Arnold, or even
Yeah, he's got a good back though. He does have a good back. You're saying his glutes and hamstrings is what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like smaller glutes. He's fantastic. He's very, very good. But I mean, everyone has their weaknesses. That would be his. So if you said what to improve,
is he good enough at this point to take out Bumstead?
He's a factor. He's tall. He's wide. He's got great front double bicep, and he's got a great stance.
Yeah, I think his stance is probably his most powerful pose, I would say.
Yeah, he
knows how to position his body.
Yeah, he does. He's a little thin on the legs from the side. That's a little bit of a weakness. And then, like I said, from behind, that's trying to pick him apart. He's got height, and height is important. A lot of there's a lot of good guys who are tall, and he's the tallest there.
Yeah, I agree. I think his height works to his advantage. It worked for Bumstead. It worked to his advantage for when he was going against guys like Breon Ansley and what's the other guy? Rough Diesel. Yeah, I mean, he was just towering over those guys. Now you got Ramone, you got you got Wesley, up there with the same height he's got.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to pull up one more thing. Did you see Michael? What?
They had 3 different physiques, of course.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So it's the 3 different big physiques.
Right. Michael DeBoule won the classic physique over the Titans.
Where? I didn't even know. Where was
today,
that?
Yeah. It was in, I think it was in California, was it? Take a look at those pictures. Shredded. In the middle, that's him. That's prejudging pictures.
Is it a qualifier for this? He's qualified. He must be qualified. Right?
Anaheim, California. He was. I think he was already qualified. Yeah. Back looked really good there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Gnarly conditioning. Yeah. These classic guys bring better conditioning than the open guys. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, but they bring lights out condition.
I thought that last week was the last qualifier of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought last week was, yeah. So this may be he's probably qualified for this year, and this was smart jumping in for next year.
Yeah, let's take a look at the men's classic. Oh, they have a ton. Do you see how many people are qualified for this thing? Holy mackerel!
Imagine.
Fanny Fawadi, Nathaniel Joyner, Chen Kang, Antoine Loth, Everson Mello, Damian Patrick, Chris Bumstead, Ramon Dino, Urs Kalsinski, Gabriel Zaccanelli, Zahun Bang from South Korea. We talked about him last week. Wesley Vissers, Hanjin Choi from South Korea, Logan Franklin, Terrence Ruffin, Mike Summerfield, Darren Sherbayev, Jaehun Park, Michael DeBoule. Oh, so he was already.
Yeah,
I didn't know. DeBoule was from Syria. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Riccati from Italy. Fabione Sylvain, Fabio Junio, Jeremiah Willies, Thomas Adami, Shi Chang Jin, Richard Nagy, Eric Lisboa, Hyun Lee, Jose Manuel Munoz, Livingston. Oh, I can't even believe all these guys. Matthew Grego, Luca Rager, Mikhail Timoshin, Lamar Shaw, Robert Timms, Abdullah El Sarafi, Nael Darwin, Tyler. How are they going to, Chris? How are they going to handle all these guys on stage? Breon Ansley, and now I'm skipping because I don't want to read everyone. Sorry,
You know,
it's too many people. Tony
that's
Tavares.
great. Dave, the last that was, I think it was 2019. I think how many guys were in it? Just count them. Is it more than 60? Because they had 63, I think it was, one year.
Was it really? Holy shit! So it's 3, 6. I can't even count this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 22. I think there's over 60. Yeah.
Yeah, because one year where there was 60.
63 names, but I don't know if they're all doing it. So let's assume 60.
Dave, there was one year when there was 63, and I helped someone who did make top 15.
Mm.
And said, where should I place? I said 9th to 25th. Because it was so hard for me to judge.
Right.
If I followed like the judge's lead, like to say, okay, yeah, that's the right call, first 8, and I could I could judge the 8, and then the second call, like, who else? How do you decide? It's really hard to narrow down like 9th through 15th.
Right.
Because
Chris, I'm going to test let me test your knowledge, your memory. Who won the 212 New York Pro? Do you remember his name?
yeah, it was a kid who blew up the quads.
Oh, yes, you know about him. He was at the thing today. I didn't have a chance to talk to him. I said hello to him. I just gave him a pat on the back. This poor guy, he tore his quad and then he also broke his ankle at the same time.
My God!
Like he was re-racking. I guess he was Smith machine squatting, and he had 500 on there, and he went to rack it. I guess he missed it, and it came down on him, and his quad ruptured, and he broke his ankle. He's in a wheelchair. This kid still. I feel so terrible for this guy. Oh my God! In the middle of the guy just won New York Pro, and what a terrible story.
Pro as well. I mean, I think he would have been really.
He would have done great at the Olympia.
He's done the Olympia, and he's done decent at the Olympia, but this
was his best year for sure that I've ever seen him.
Best in New York.
What's his name, Chris?
I don't know, because it's me. It's a foreign name. I can't remember.
I'm going to pull up the list. You tell me.
I can't remember if NASA's last name was E.L. somebody or A.L. somebody.
You recognize him from that list?
Dave, you know me. I can't see that. I can't even see who's 9th through 25th in the classic 2 years ago. Expect me to see that fine print?
You're so funny, Chris.
You know,
212 is going to be good at the 212 class is going to be good at the Olympia.
Yeah, it's going to be
very good. I can't wait.
All the classes
really
going to be good.
Yeah. All right, let me pull my list up here. De La Rosa's looking really good. This is going to be his first Olympia since 2019.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting eating with him at last year's Olympia. And he's like, I'm going to get back to that Olympia stage. I said, I know you are. And he's back. So he had a great year. Let's see what he's looking like. He's big too.
Yeah, he looks very good. Midsection looks great.
Wouldn't that be a thing if imagine he breaks into that top, 7 group there. That would be a real feather in his cap if he can do that. He doesn't really have any weaknesses.
No, that's the key. Does he do a back shot? That leg looks phenomenal from the side.
Yeah, I don't know if he's doing a back shot. All right, let me pull up.
Very good.
Trying to get everyone mentioned here. What's going on with your audio over there?
My audio? I don't know. I think it's switching from Wi-Fi from the La Quinta Inn, also known as the Four Seasons.
Hold on. There's the bull. I gotta get some video of him. Sid just sent it to me. Look really good. A lot of good classic guys. I got news for you in this show, but
Michael is tall. Michael's tall, you know.
Yeah, but do you notice how like you can see all these guys alone and they look really good, and then when they get them out on that stage and you put them next to each other, it's all of a sudden Ramone, Wesley, Bumstead, even Urs, they all kind of just stick out like as they just don't belong with the other guys. You don't even see the other guys. These guys that look so good alone all of a sudden look like shit when they stand next to these structurally gifted guys.
Well,
it's just unbelievable, right?
If you look at if you look at that back double of Ramone's, you can see that the back's really more developed than in the past. And if you have a trained eye and you just scan up and look at the size of the delts, shoulders, and arms, those are big shoulders, arms, and delts. And they don't look that big because the back's improved. In other words, it's just to put a stamp on what you just said that, some of these guys are just, a little bit ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. People are asking about Andrew updates. Now you gave me one earlier. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything. So what's going on? Yeah. You want to give us any messages about Andrew?
He looks good. He's big.
Can we say his weight?
Nope.
Okay. His weight is very high. I'll leave it at that for people. It's very high. It's higher than you would expect.
Yeah.
You're getting all kinds of feedback from your connection. I don't know what's going on, but
Wi-Fi, Dave. Back to Wi-Fi. I just said something like you.
Oh, okay. It seems better now. Keep it on Wi-Fi. All right. Let's. I want to pull up this back video of Derek Lunsford because, this guy is looking like an absolute freak. Can anyone beat him? I think he's going to be very difficult to beat, Chris. I know we have our favorites. Obviously, Hany looked amazing at Arnold. Andrew's looking like an absolute freak. This guy, though, looks like he made a lot of improvements from last year. What are you thinking? I know you have a good eye. You can tell the difference between filters and BS. Is this guy the real deal?
Yeah, he's definitely the real deal, but it's going to come down to a couple poses, and it's not going to be the back pose.
Yeah. Do you think where is he vulnerable from the front and the abs?
Abs,
chest,
abs most muscular, and I think that's his only vulnerability. Those two poses probably. Yeah, I'd say those.
What don't you like about his chest? What don't you like about his chest?
It looks like it lacks, like the muscle muscular lacks like the density that the rest of the body has.
And you think that's a genetic thing, or you think it's a development thing, or just genetics? Yeah.
Like his glutes are a genetic thing.
Yeah.
Some people's glutes are like strided when they're a little heavy, when they're fat. Some people, you don't get one line in them until you diet until your teeth are going to fall out.
Right. Let's see that. That's a crazy shot right there too.
Yeah.
I think he's unbeatable from behind, really. He's got just too much muscle.
I mean, when it came down to, who's going to win, people who did pick him picked him based on the back shot size.
Yeah, I did too. That's where I got my opinion from. I'll be honest. He had the best back shots, glutes, hamstrings. He's freaky looking. I mean, there's no denying him from the back. I mean, he made Hany look weak from the back, which is hard to do because Hady's got a really good back double bicep shot.
Yeah.
And he's so complete. There's no waist. His lats go right into his waistline.
Yeah.
And he's got a small waist too, on top of that, which is usually, the guys with the big lats that go right to the waist, usually their waistline can get a little big, Sometimes I'm thinking Kai Green there, but not Derek, man. And I think you said it, look at that shot, Chris. Holy shit. I mean, you said it. I mean, youth helps. He's still young. What is he, 31 years old now, I think. And that's just a wacky shot right there. I mean, to have that standing relaxed, I mean, that's among the best ever.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hany Rambod is very short, and you can see Derek's not that much taller than him. That might be his only weakness, that he doesn't have the height that we usually see from Mr. Olympias,
Well, you were just talking about height, with Bumstead and Wesley and Ramone. I mean, height plays some type of factor.
Yeah, but I mean, just to stand relaxed,
I don't think
and be that wide.
As short as Derek and Hany, I don't think their height is a detriment to their physique.
No, they're not like 5'4" or anything like that. No. I mean, look at how wide this guy is for the guy of his height. He's super, super, super wide.
Crazy wide.
Yeah, very impressive. Now, when you see a shot like this, I don't really see pec weakness there, but we can't see his abs obviously. But where do you notice it more? When he's in the front double and lat spread?
Yeah, these are gym shots. I'll tell you, these are gym shots that are
doctored up a little, yeah, probably.
They're filtered. I mean, there's something. They're not just like me taking an iPhone picture.
That's Hany right there. Hady's looking pretty freaky too. Look at those Hany shots. He looks huge. That's got to be a little intimidating when Derek goes down there to Texas to train with Hany and Hany. They're competing against each other. I don't care how friendly you want to be, but at the end of the day, they're battling for the Olympia title. These guys,
Yeah, there's no, believe me, there's no kumbaya.
there's phony kumbaya there, I'm sure, right?
The kumbaya lasts for the person who wins.
Exactly. I love to see that Hany is still training super heavy too. That I think that's a huge mistake a lot of guys make, is they purposely lighten the weights up when they get to be about 3-4 weeks out from a show, and you know what? That's how you lose muscle and you lose some of the wow. Mm. Even Ronnie Coleman's responding here. Lightweight, baby. That's the way a champion trains, hard and heavy. Everyone want to be a bodybuilder. No one want to lift no heavy ass weights. Hany Shupin will do it. So, I mean, how many times do you see Ronnie Coleman chime in on a post? Never. That's what you got to do, man. You got to do it. And he's, and that's, I tell that to people all the time. If you can do it, do it. It would be silly for Hany to lighten the weights up purposely just because he's like, well, I'm going to do 25 reps instead of doing, 8, good ones with the heaviest weight I can use. So that's why he's got that granity looking physique, because he's not doing the light weights. Good for him. I like to see that. There's the two together. Let's see if we can see it. Hold on. All right, so that's a little sneak preview on our number 1 and number 2 competitors in the world. This coming week and the week after, we're going to be doing some iron debate on RxMuscle. We're going to start our iron road to the Olympia series, where we'll be, debating different topics in the world of bodybuilding, classic physique, all the other divisions, talking about what we'd like to see, what the judging should be like, and any controversies that may be out there. I think this could be one of the best Olympias of all time, Chris, just because I think that there's so many guys at the peak of their powers right now that that's what makes it good. It's not that these are the same guys from 3 years ago, but they're so much better than they were 3 years ago that we're seeing these guys really right now at their best, and that's what makes the show great.
Well,
Plus, there's no guaranteed winner here. We really don't know who's going to win.
I just think that I mean, if you look at the open class, you had, I mean, let's just take a Ramy won twice, and then Brandon won once, and then he was out, and then Ramy won twice, then he was out. Then Hany won once, then he's out. Now Derek won once. What's going to happen? In other words, and then Samson made that jump from a couple years back. In other words, they're just, at the end of the day, they're judging what shows up.
Right.
There's no guarantees on anything. There's no guarantees on who's going to win. And there's, although I think there's a consensus of like who the first call out of 5 or 7 would have, could most highly likely be. I don't think that's written in stone at all. I just think that whoever shows up to all these classes, is who's going to get the call.
Right. But if history has shown us anything, we know that Derek always shows up at his best at these shows. We know that Hany usually shows up at his best. We know Nick Walker notoriously shows up at his best. We've really not seen Andrew Jack ever off either. I mean, he's added a lot of size and improved as a bodybuilder. We don't really see, he's pretty reliable with his conditioning, especially since you've taken over his diet. So there's a very good chance that we're going to see the best of everyone up there. Now, I think that Samson Dowd is that wild card, because he's the guy who should win the show and doesn't bring the conditioning he needs to. And that's been historically, that's been his weakness. What if he brings his best conditioning? It's really going to be a very, very tough show to judge, I think. We saw Hunter LeBron at his best, recently win that show in Italy. So, I mean, he could certainly sneak in there as well. Brandon Curry's wild card. No one's talking about this guy. No one's really seen very much of him. So where does he fall into that mix? Does he still have the ability to place top 3 in this lineup? What do you think?
This lineup, no.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him.
This lineup is last year's lineup.
These guys' legs are too good for them. I don't think he has the legs to stand with these guys.
Legs are going to factor. Legs are going to factor into the show. This is, you got Samson with big legs. You got Hany with wheels. You got Derek with wheels. Andrew's got wheels.
Yeah. Nick's got wheels.
Nick's got wheels. Just, you go down, I mean, we're leaving people out, but, even the people who we're not talking about right now, Rafael Brandeo's got wheels. Hakeem's got wheels. I just saw that video of John Rosa. He's got wheels from the side and from the front, but his legs from the side are impressive.
I think Curry's going to have a lot of difficulty in this lineup, but, we've seen it before. Guys come in, a lot of people are off, and some guy moves up that you don't expect. You're like, holy mackerel, Curry's in the top 3 again. How did this happen? Well, everyone else is a little off, and Curry's not. So he's like a Dexter. You can't ever count this guy out. His structure is just so beautiful that, he can certainly sneak in there if these other guys are not at their best. But once again, I'd like to see also Brandon go to the Masters Olympia next year as well. I think that he's earned his stripes. He's won an Olympia title. He's done everything there is to do. He's won every show there is to win. Do the Masters Olympia. Why not? Might as well. Yeah. But all right. So before we end the show, I'm gonna pull up a picture I put up of you and I that I found in my archive. I want to see if you know when this picture was from. When did we take that picture? And where?
That's Brazil.
It is Brazil. That's what I thought, Chris. Holy shit. You're good.
You know what that is in Brazil?
Is that in Rio de Janeiro?
That's in Rio, and that's where that's the hotel I think I and Cedric was staying at when Lee Thompson, like,
I don't think it was, because weren't you guys staying miles away? I would never have gone to your hotel. You probably came to my hotel, if anything.
yeah, I just associate.
Didn't you stay with me the last night? I think you stayed with me, or you, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You stayed at. You had a great place.
Yeah, you were drinking coffee on the roof, right?
Yeah, yes, at the pool and the view. And it was like, and we saw there was like this seedy area, and then we saw a van parked. Remember what was on that van?
I don't remember.
What was on that van in that neighborhood?
I don't remember. What was?
High green display on a van. You don't remember that?
Oh, you're right. I completely blocked that out.
Because I'm like, what is the show? Is a trade show all the way over here? We're like 15 miles away from the venue.
I woke up. I'm like, where the fuck is Chris? And he was on the roof. There was like a pool in the roof, and he was sitting up there, and he woke up early.
I was looking at all the real estate below, thinking like, we're like, hi.
Right. It's funny. When I was talking to Frank McGrath today at the Muscle Asylum gym in Port Charlotte. He was telling me that for some reason, when he goes to Brazil, they think he's like a rock star there. He's like, I was a good bodybuilder back in the day, but he goes, I'm older now. I'm 48, and I'll go to Brazil and people just like, it's almost like I need security around me. He's like, it's unbelievable. I said, I know they're insane about bodybuilders over there in Brazil. They really love the bodybuilding, and he was just blown away. He said by the reception he gets when he goes there. It's like he just can't figure it out. Because I'm just some Canadian bodybuilder, and they're all over me.
Say at the moment, Brazil is the number one bodybuilding country in the world. They have, I think, 50 qualified for the Olympia.
Wow, that's crazy. He said, he was telling me about the women. He goes, the women come up to the booth there. He goes, every woman at these expos are super hyper muscular. He goes, I feel like I'm small compared to these women. I said, that's the look they like. They all have the big butts and the big legs, and that's why you don't want to compete against the Brazilians in the wellness division. Matter of fact, I think the wellness division in the IFBB NPC was created for the Brazilians. I don't think it has all these Americans are doing it. They can't even stand next to these Brazilian girls. So.
No, I think you're right. I think that class originated in Brazil. I think.
Yeah, they made it up. They invented that class down there. I remember I went down there. It must have been, you were there too. Maybe it was when, I don't know if it was when, it might have been around this time. And remember we were in the expo and we're like, what the heck is that on stage? And there was like an amateur wellness, division they had. It wasn't even part of the NPC at that point. They're just doing it on their own. And we're like, what the heck is that? And how are we 10 years later? And now it's on the Olympia stage. So obviously it caught on.
Yeah, it caught on and growing.
It's like when when they put beach volleyball in the Olympics, and I think the Americans are still winning everything in beach volleyball, because beach volleyball was invented in California. So the Americans were doing it way before all these other countries were doing it. And we beat everyone all the time for years and years and years in beach volleyball. It's like that's what the Brazilians are to wellness. They're like they're so far ahead of us. They've been doing it for so many more years than the people here in this country that it's going to take us another 5-10 years to catch them in the wellness division.
And it'll be some like Brazilian transplant.
Right. It'll be someone exactly. It'll be like a Brazilian woman who got pregnant, had a kid, and then the kid grew up.
Can't compete with them.
Yeah. So, well, I want to thank John and the whole Muscle Asylum crew for inviting me down there today. Mel, it was great seeing you. Frank McGrath, Antoine, all the guys down there, and all the girls that I was able to hang out with. And I'm glad congratulations to your son Fareed for qualifying for the Ben Weider Natural competition that's going to take place in November, where they're going to be giving pro cards to the winners. Now, is he going to do bodybuilding there, or classic, or both?
Both.
Both. Okay. What do you have to place to qualify? Just top 2 or top 3? What is it?
I don't know. He's you know.
But he is qualified now for both?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, get back to school and do some work, Fareed. What is it? 4? What is it? 8 weeks now till that show?
About 8 weeks. 8 weeks.
Yeah. That's what I hear for also. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. Thanks for joining us. And as we say every week with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Sure does. We'll see you next week.